Hey, fitness fans, welcome back. Eric Malzone with the Future of Fitness podcast and the Fitness Marketing Alliance. And this is episode number 20, which I get to talk to Greg Zuffelato. And he is the CEO and founder of Busy Bar. So Greg, he's also from Santa Barbara, California, at least spent the last few decades there. And he has been a fitness professional. He has written a book, and he started a company in the food industry. So he is a serial entrepreneur, and he talks about that journey in the food industry and some of the pitfalls he had to overcome and persevere. And there's just a lot of really good business nuggets in here. So I hope you enjoy it. And before we get to it, let's talk about our sponsor. So it is The Machine, the Fitness Pro Edition. And finally, full stack digital marketing agency service is now available to the everyday fitness professional at a price point that actually makes sense. So what is The Machine? It's a periodized marketing system, just like fitness. It's based on decades of fitness industry experience and predictive analytics. So after the 13-month program, every client in The Machine will have an automated and evergreen marketing system that choreographs all the aspects of digital and traditional marketing. So piece by piece, we assist you putting it together. We do some of the work for you, and you do some of the work as well. We meet you in the middle. And we're going to do email funnels, pay-per-click advertising, search engine optimization, co-branding, social media, content marketing, you name it, the list goes on and on and on. There's no shortage of tactics, but we're going to teach you strategy. So get off crash diet marketing. It's too prevalent in the industry, and that's what we've set out to fix, and learn to automate your marketing and lead generation the right way. And if you're interested, it all starts with a free consultation. You can email me, Eric, ERIC, at fitnessmarketingalliance.com with the subject line, Machine Me. So, on to the show, episode number 20, Greg Zuffelato. Hey everybody, this is Eric with the Fitness Marketing Alliance. And today I have the pleasure of sitting with Greg Zuffelato. He is with Too Busy to Eat. He also, so he has an educational platform and content platform, as well as an actual product that we're going to get into and talk about a lot. So Greg, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it. We got to chat a little bit, and very cool guy.
I'm fired up. Thank you, Eric. This is exciting. I do a lot of, this is good to flip a little bit because, you know, as a interviewee, usually, you know, I'm usually the interviewer. So this is fun.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm gonna hold you over the coals. No.
That's right. Yeah.
So tell me, Greg, what's your story? Because you've got quite a bit of background. We have some similar friends in the business because we're both from, you know, spent a lot of time in Santa Barbara. But give us your whole fitness story, kind of how you got to the point you are now.
Sure. So I've been all over the place, but my heart has always been as an entrepreneur. I mean, you know, out of college. I mean, I was a college basketball player. So, so I was always drawn to basketball sports. And so out of college, I started coaching and teaching, more for the passion of, I mean, I like working with kids. That was great. And it was more about the basketball than it was the teaching. I really like to coach and work with young people. And then I fell in love with the teaching too, because you work with young adults, but my spirit was always, I always really wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I would do things here and there, always related to fitness and nutrition. I mean, I was reading, my dad was an NBA basketball coach. And so I had access to fitness and nutrition back from the pro trainers back when they really didn't really have pro trainers then, you know, like the late 80s and early 90s. I was reading all their stuff and trying to figure it out. So that was my first dive into fitness and nutrition. And then, you know, I got into when I coached the kids, I would always be, you know, I spent a lot of time in developing training programs. Then I launched my own training business for a while. And I trained athletes in the Santa Barbara area. I trained high school, college, and just actually a couple pro athletes here and there. And then it was just I just loved that industry all the time. And part of when I was doing fitness and nutrition is I love the entrepreneur part of it. I love creating things. and the baseline of everything I've done is always trying to help people in some capacity. So the fitness thing, I started my own business for a little while, and then we moved out of the area, and I started something new. I eventually started a nutrition and weight loss online counseling, which made weight loss programs. I wrote a book. All these things kind of developed out of that. And it was a passion for entrepreneurship, passion for nutrition and exercise. And then the actual book led to the business,
Sorry, Greg, what was the book? What's the name of the book?
I Believe Weight Loss.
Okay.
And it was a 4-week guide to, losing weight and blah, blah. It was just it was a great introduction into writing a book. And it was a deeper dive into nutrition than I had done, more informally for just educating myself to where I had to do deep research to get the book done. And then the book led to that online business of nutrition and weight loss counseling, weight loss programs. That led to Too Busy to Eat, the company. And that blossomed. Basically the bar business popped out of Too Busy to Eat when I was like, everybody kept asking for bars. Like, what bars do I eat? And I had a hard time saying, eat this one, because I was always find something wrong with them. I said, this can't be that hard to make a bar. So I gave it a shot, and I found I found a co-manufacturer that would help me had my idea, and they had their food chemists, and we met in the middle and we figured it out. And then there we go. There we have the Busy Bar. So that was kind of the journey. And at the heart of it is I think there's two things. Was my journey has been connected to entrepreneurship, always wanting to create and build stuff, and I always want to help people in some capacity. And that's why, food and nutrition end up being, and exercise end up being where I did it the most, or had most impact, I felt.
That's interesting, because, there's always seems to be, for a lot of the fitness professionals I know, there's always like there's this coach, right, who just wants to do coaching. And then there's this business entrepreneur person who's like, just wants to, and usually at some point the one breaks off, right, and kind of and goes forward.
Yeah, because your heart, like when I started weight loss coach, it's a great example, because when I started doing weight loss programs, I really wanted to work right with people. Like, I wanted to help, I wanted to meet with them. And I found that was really unsustainable for a business, because one, you either had to charge a ton of money to work with a few people, which didn't seem the best. There's a place for that, obviously, but, or you have to make it available to a wider audience. And nowadays the online world allows you to do that. And so we had that, the heart of coaching and helping people individually. And then, you had to grow the business too. So that's what that's the rub. And ended up, going to, I still feel like I'm helping people just in a different capacity now.
Yeah, I agree. And, there's a lot of fitness professionals who are listening, who probably have an idea for some kind of, food products, right? But that's a scary thing to start in, it's competitive, just like fitness industry. And I think there's so much that people don't know, but when it sounds like the catalyst was, an itch that you had to scratch for other people, right? Or something you need to scratch for yourself. Maybe walk us through that process of changing gears and moving, towards the food industry. And was there any unexpected surprises that you hit there? Was there? I'm sure I'm seeing your night now.
Oh man,
big ones.
Manufacturing is a nightmare. That's why. And I co-manufacture. I didn't build my own facility. I found somebody that could make bars, and we did that. There's a lot more to it than I thought. Now, I don't want to discourage people, because it can be done. It's just going to, what I would say is, if you're passionate about creating something, a product, it's going to take a lot more work than you think. And that's not negative. It just takes, maybe not the amount of work. It's the time it takes. Okay. So you would think, oh, I can get this done. I have this idea. Well, in a few, it shouldn't take couple months to get this new product rolling. There's so many pieces to it. But there's also, in the food industry, there's baby steps. I kind of went all in instead of baby steps. I kind of went all in. There's private labeling, where you can find a product that's really high quality that you can put your label on, and in 6-8 weeks you could be selling your clients, to on Amazon. You can be selling anywhere. Now that's an alternative. It's not a bad one. It's not your own product. It has your own labeling and everything, but it's somebody else's creation. But that's how a lot of people start, and that's how a lot of businesses. I mean, I look at Dr. Axe's website. I mean, he's got 60 products or more. I don't know how many he has. I didn't even count them. There's too many. I mean, none of those are his creation. They're all products he approves of, puts his label on them, and sells them. Trader Joe's does it. Everybody does it. So it's a way to start. So I would say if I would encourage somebody that wanted to get into it and wanted to not put in, thousands of dollars up front for a slow return, the private labeling, finding a product you really believe in and seeing who makes it. And there's a lot of companies that do that. They can help you do that. But create from scratch is a chore.
Sorry, Greg. Do you offer private labeling for your product?
We actually, remember we were talking about Nora Tobin. We were working, and she's a fitness brand specialist, fitness professional brand specialist. She's fantastic. She helps, as we mentioned, she helps the Busy Bar. She's helps with kind of large client base, which could lead to a private labeling. Like we've talked to some major companies, recognized brands in the country that we were negotiating a private labeling deal. It ended up being such a new and small company. They what was the drawback for that is these big companies, they need some type of guarantee return. Like if they're going to put their product on it, their label on it, they want to know, well, what's going to be the return. And so you have to give them guarantees. And if you don't reach those guarantees, you're out quite a bit of money. So we couldn't proceed there, but we've considered it. And actually, Dick Lamb, who was the co-founder of Balance Bar, he has mentored me over the last several years. And Balance Bar made a big turn when they were selling, and Trader Joe's made Balance Bar very successful. But Balance Bar private labeled the Balance Bar to Trader Joe's eventually. And they were sold side by side. It's the same bar. One had a Trader Joe's wrapper on it, and one had a Balance Bar wrapper on it. But so private labeling is nothing to shy away from. It's something that is done routinely in the food industry. But so.
That's interesting. Yeah, there's so much I personally don't know about the food industry. I know my business partner back in Santa Barbara, he started his own line of chocolates, and it was really cool because he came from a Chinese herbal background.
Yeah.
He mixed Chinese herbs with chocolate. So there would be stuff like, for women who are suffering from PMS or erectile dysfunction was one of them.
Right.
I can't remember. The name of the bar was hysterical. God, I hope it comes to me. But and I learned so much. And then all of a sudden, one day, the FDA came in and shut him down.
Oh, gosh. Because there was claims in the food product?
I think it was the kitchen issue.
Oh, yes. He was making his own.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So FDA came in and with all of their power and might, and that was that. Greg, do you watch the show Shark Tank?
I've watched it some. Yes, okay. I watched it some to learn a few things because I've done a lot of investor pitching.
Okay.
So I learned.
Okay, great. Because as soon as I was reading about you and researching you, I was thinking, God, what an interesting product to be on Shark Tank, right? Because I've seen like paleo bars and things like that on there. What's your pitch? Like, what's your differentiating factor? Yeah. When you do that, how do you pitch it to
So that's funny because when I've pitched, I don't know, 50 times. I mean, I've pitched so many. I've raised quite a bit of money in the first couple of years. That's been, I guess that, going back to what was some of the surprises, I didn't realize how much of that I would have to do. I spent a lot of time raising money to get this thing off the ground. And now we're at a good spot. We're off the ground, and I don't necessarily, I might have to raise a little bit more, but not much. So my pitch, everybody wants to know why you're different.
Yeah.
Well, so with the Busy Bar, it used to be called the Too Busy to Eat Bar, and we just say it's the same bar. So now it's the Busy Bar. So I've pitched both, but it didn't matter when I was pitching them. We went for a really high quality bar. So, and high quality, low sugar. So let's say if you take a Quest bar, man, they broke in the market. They're great. Low, only 1 gram of sugar or less, 2 grams of sugar, really low sugar, 20 grams of protein. Well, the quality of the protein is so bad when you open the bar, it smells. I mean, and I eat Quest bars a ton before, not knowing that there's a better option, and I'm creating one. So we went for a really high quality. We use grass-fed whey protein for a few reasons. And so when I'm pitching an investor, I'm saying I have the highest quality protein you can get. Now, I know that, I mean, if you talk about grass-fed whey, there's a lot of advantage to grass-fed beef, grass-fed dairy. The whey, I know it gets processed out. A lot of those benefits don't carry over to whey, but grass-fed whey is such a soft and clean protein. It tastes, it's funny, but it tastes better. It's softer. So it's so the high quality we pitched the low sugar, and now we've kind of fallen into a niche where we've made the bar a little smaller, geared more towards women, because my feedback was they were eating half a bar at a time. So the pitch is, okay, we have a bar that is as high as quality you can get. It's only 1 gram of sugar, and it kind of falls in a category right now where there's not a lot of competition. Like the Oat Mega bar would be one of our main competitions, but they're really high in carbohydrate. So they have grass-fed whey. We're differentiating because we're a low-carb bar in that grass-fed space that there's not really that the competition is not really there. So we kind of tell investor, hey, we have this spot, in a very, very, very crowded market. We have this spot, and we have the highest quality bar. And then honestly, when they try the bars, it is overwhelming, and I'll send you some so you can try them yourself. The overwhelming on how the feedback on how good they taste. And taste is subjective, but when you try other bars and you try ours, it tastes and feels like real food. It doesn't taste like chemicals. It's softer. Like it doesn't have that artificial feel to it. So it's kind of like a real food bar, which it's a protein bar. So that was my elevator pitch is a lot shorter than that. I went a little bit deep on that.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I've eaten a lot of Quest bars because I'll go in and out of ketosis every once in a while. That's like the one thing that I know I can pack with me and, have like as an emergency food. And it tastes artificial.
Right.
So I'm really curious about the gaining investors, because I've never had to. I've had people offer to invest in things that I've done, but I've always said, I don't want that as a partner, just because it wasn't necessary for the things I was doing.
Yeah, right.
For you, it is. So people are listening, like, where do you even start? Like, how does the whole process start? And talk to me like I'm a 4-year-old. And I did many years now of research on how to do this. And I've heard all kinds of different things. And honestly, the reality was it starts with friends and family. You pitch and you pitch and pitch. And what happened? And obviously there's some, you have to consider who you're pitching to. You have to know they have the means to do it. You're not going to pitch to your aunt that has to use her retirement money to give you, it's somebody. You have to be discerning when you pitch people, but it does start with your close circle of friends and family and the people they know. And so what happens is you really have to think it's going to take longer than you think. Like it took me. So what happened is my first raise was I was raising $250,000, and I was going to do it. I did get it done in a couple months. I didn't get anybody besides my dad, which doesn't count. Okay, so I didn't get anybody to buy in for almost 4. I got a commitment after 4 months of a lot of pitches. Now, some of those people that eventually did invest, they were pitched in month 1, 2, or 3. But once I got one real investor to pitch in a little bit, it was a snowball. Then everybody. So the thing is, my encouragement is, if you're looking for investors, one, be discerning like you are. If you don't need it, don't get investors. There's a lot of things that might have been great. I won't complain about mine, but I've heard nightmare stories. If
you don't need it, don't get it. But if you do need it, kind of know it's gonna, you have to just be ready to have people tell you no over and over again. And you learn every time you pitch, you learn something from them. And then you keep moving forward. And then that it will be, and then I was told this before I started, said, once you get one investor, it opens the doors to so many others, because they say, oh, somebody believes in this guy, I'm going to invest too. And that's what happened. So I went from 0 to 250,000 in a month. So it was really short. Yeah. And these were all, I didn't have any, my largest investment, and this isn't the best way to do it, but my first initial round, my largest investment was, I think, like 36,000, 35,000. So it was all small bits and chunks.
Okay.
Yeah. Ideally, you'd get one investor for 250,000, but that's a big time. That's a bigger commitment, but sometimes it works that way.
Yeah. And I imagine too, as you continue to build your brand and your business, you get to a certain size, you're going to have doors open that you didn't have before, right?
Yeah. Now you have a viable product. So this is, when I was pitching, I had a product. It wasn't really refined. I mean, I was able to share the product with them, but it wasn't like where it is now. But they could see it was a quality product. So like, I agree. Now I have, I have an office, I have a warehouse, I have inventory, I have bar, now it's easier to have people get interested, to give money. It's easier now. Definitely.
Without giving up, like, your business plan or anything like that, do you have plans for brand extension? Are you going to be doing different things? And maybe you can talk about, how you're laying out that plan.
Yeah. So Too Busy to Eat overall, the umbrella, so we have that educational arm of Too Busy to Eat I talked about podcast, YouTube show and all that. Mm-hmm. But the umbrella company over Busy Bar, we want to make products for busy people, which is everybody, that are extremely healthy, that you're not losing out if you're eating on it, like the Busy Bar. If you eat it on the run, well, yeah, is a real food. Sitting down to eat a salad, is that better? Absolutely, but that's not reality all the time. So we want to create products like that are high quality, that you're not having a big drop off if you can't sit down and eat a really high quality meal. So, protein powders. I've developed some protein chips. There's a lot of things in the pipeline, but we got to go one step at a time. So long term, the next few years, we should have a line of products that fit our model, which is really high quality, low carb, and all kinds. I even have a pancake mix. So there's all kinds of different products that want to fit under Too Busy to Eat.
That's really exciting, Greg. Yeah. So tell me, you mentioned, you do a lot with Too Busy to Eat, as that platform. You have a podcast, blog, vlog. You're very active on social media too. What are some of the marketing strategies that you use, and the digital front to really get your product in front of people and expand?
Well, so first, now I'm at a different stage where now I've hired 2 separate companies to help with the marketing efforts on Instagram, with influencers, Instagram and Facebook. But one thing I did originally, and so I did all myself for a long time, is I'm on other platforms, but I really focused on the 2 I thought were the biggest impact. So I started with one, and then I moved on to, so I started with Facebook, then moved to Instagram. I wasn't trying to go everywhere. I wanted to make successful and then move on there. So now, I was just really active and trying to, I think the number one thing, and I think we're still doing it, is provide quality content for people. So whatever you're doing, if it's a Facebook post or Instagram post or whatever, or our blog, I want to create high quality content for people that is going to benefit them in some way. And ours are in small chunks. Our blogs are really short, and they're. I just want to, but I think focusing in and narrowing your approach to social media, because there's so many different platforms to be on, and then providing high quality content, which it does. I mean, it could be just, good quality posts on Instagram. I mean, that's going to help people in some capacity.
So you look at it more as like an overall branding strategy and then informing the consumer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you follow up like, with call to actions on specials or deals or anything like that as well?
So we don't, so on Instagram, and we will sell and push through our email list and the bottom of our Facebook and Instagram advertising funnel. But the whole funnel is education. Like our top of our funnel is our podcasts, YouTube show, blog, Instagram posts. So we don't sell on any of those channels. We actually don't sell. Now, this is all just being carried out now. So there's been in the past, we have done some posts about products and things, but as they move down the funnel and they gain more interest in like they watch a podcast episode or they read one of the blogs, then they get, Facebook retargeted, their ads come to them. And in the end, they're showing more interest in us. And then we have a couple sales. We have an educational video that's kind of is educational and salesy. And then we have a basically straight sales video. Okay. So in Facebook, it's the funnel. We bring them, we educate them. And then down at the end, we will sell because now we've given them content. They've become part of our community. And now we can say, hey, we have a solution for you. You want to be more, your productivity, you're on the run, you're on the go, well, grab a busy bar so you're not missing out on fueling your body at the right times. So that's kind of how ours work.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it checks a lot of the boxes that we would look at too. So well done. And curious, do you spend more time on Facebook or Instagram? Where do you put more energy and why?
We are finance, money-wise, we're sinking more into the Facebook. Well, I say that, but it also crosses the advertising campaign crosses to Instagram. Yeah. But that company that is focused more on Facebook, but the ads cross over to Instagram. So it's kind of hard. It's probably close to a balance, but we find like about 70% of our customers are women. And part of that is, so Facebook is a little more shifted towards, both social media platforms are shifted a little bit more towards women. So we, I don't know the exact numbers, but we definitely, on Facebook and Instagram, I know our numbers, but so we do focus, I would say more research is towards Facebook, but it's not that far apart.
Okay.
No.
Great insight. So curious how, we talked, the show is the future of fitness. How is technology changing the niche you're in? How is it changing the food industry? And how do you see that affecting your business in the next few years?
Yeah. Well, here's what that's changed for us. Like if you were to start a bar company 10 years ago or 15 years ago, ask anybody on the street, ask anybody in almost any business. So what would you do? You would create it and you would go to every retailer and wholesaler. You would try to get your bars in stores. We're not even considering it. Matter of fact, if a store approached us, we wouldn't even put it in a store right now.
Wow.
It's funny. It's like people think, well, that's maybe arrogant or stupid or whatever, but it's not. It's like Quest did that. Quest Bar did that. They got to $10 million on online sales before they even put any bar in the store. So $10 million in sales is a pretty nice company. And that took them 2 years. And there's still retailers that are so mad at Quest, they won't carry their bars because Quest kept turning them down. Like, we want your bars, give us your bars. And they're like, nope, we're online only. And so, and you can do that now because of online platforms, because of Amazon, because of social media. You don't have to go in the retail world for products. And so I have a business partner that I brought on originally to run the retail wholesale part of the business, because we thought, well, Quest did it, but we'll do a little blend. And more we got into it because he had lots of experience in the retail space. It's really bad. It's really bad. The margin's really bad. like a slotting fee for a big company could be $150,000 to just get into a spot on their shelves. And that's a steep price to pay. So what it's done is it's allowed me, a small time guy, to create a product and compete with the big boys. Obviously I'm not competing with Quest yet, but with social media and online business, I can create a product and I can grow it at a rate that nice steady rate that you would have to have a lot more backing capital to do it the old school way of retail.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I bring back Shark Tank because I think I get like 90% of my business education from that show. And everyone who comes in from the food industry selling a bar or something, they always feel like, why do you want to get into, Trader Joe's? Why do you want to get into that? The margins are so thin. You just make all your money online.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting how the whole landscape is shifting. And well, good. Yeah. That's really great to hear. So where do you see this in 2 years? Where do you see yourself in 2 years?
Yeah, I'm chasing Quest, where I would love to be multi-million dollars of sales online. I just met with I have a consultant CFO that he's not part of the company yet, but we meet and we did projections, and it's a real realistic, especially when we start adding products to reach several $1 million in sales online only, and in the next couple of years, whether it's 2 million or 10 million, depends a lot. There's a lot of factors in that. But I feel we have the team in place. That's where I see making that bigger impact and getting products that are in high quality, getting sugar out of people's diets. That's all part of the plan. I really want to continue pressing forward there and get more and more products that don't have all these high sugars on our big ones, and then just high quality food in people's hands that are going to choose. So obviously there's a component of the country that will take the time to, have time to make the full breakfast, to make a lunch, to make a dinner and sit down. I'm not one of them because I'm always running around going. And so I need to have products in hands, people like me that don't take the time, don't have the time to slow down, but want to stay healthy. So we want to keep on reaching people with different things. Right now it's a busy bar, but we'll expand from there.
Yeah. And I look forward to trying your product because, on days like this, I have 3 recordings and a meeting. Yeah. I don't know. I was just thinking like this whole time, like, God, what am I going to eat?
Yeah. So you won't. Yeah, you won't.
Yeah, I won't. I just won't. Yeah, I'll just drink coffee.
Yeah.
Greg, where do people get a hold of you if they want to talk?
Yeah. The website right now, toobusytoeat.com is a platform where there's a contact place there. If you want to, it goes to me. So Greg at toobusytoeat.com is my email. I have a personal assistant that kind of looks through them, but I answer any personal emails. I answer. We're Too Busy to Eat on Instagram, Too Busy to Eat on Facebook. And then it's our Busy Bar on Too Busy to Eat. There's also the Busy Bar, but busybar.co is a straight to our product page for the Busy Bar. So that's a lot of contact places, but
yeah, it's a lot of places.
Yeah.
That's great. You're everywhere. Well, keep hustling, man. It's great.
Thank you.
Great to see it. And I greatly appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on, Greg. And I know you and I will be talking a lot. So
absolutely. And I appreciate you giving the time and I wish you the best on your show.
Thank you. I appreciate it, brother. All right, man. Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Future of Fitness podcast and webinar series. We're working really hard here to keep great content coming out, and we'd like to express our gratitude by offering you a free 7-day marketing crash course. So here's how you can claim it. If you go to fitnessmarketingalliance.com/free gift, FREEGIFT, and you enter the promo code FITMARK, FITMARK, you can claim it that way. The other way is you can text us. So you can text the phone number 805-619-5550, and you text the word FITMARK, FITMARK. So thank you. Keep listening. Go claim that offer. It's a ton of value. And if you ever want to get a hold of me, or if you have suggestions for guests, topics, or anything else, or if you just want to ask me questions, I always respond. You can reach me at Eric, ERIC, at fitnessmarketingalliance.com. And keep listening. We have a lot more coming down the pipe, and we'll make sure that we're keeping the value great for you guys. And farewell till next time.